kicking my
So how do you
hairs.
say your name?
What?
How do you say your last name?
Barcaski.
Hello and welcome to Bold Breakthroughs with Business Experts. Today I'm so excited. I've got somebody that I've actually worked with personally and that I met at an event, uh, Lil Barcaski, and I'm going to say her name wrong, but I have her
Barcaski.
as
Yeah, there's a C in there.
Barcaski, whatever. Anyway,
Barcaski.
yeah, she'll get it for you. She'll get it for you. But I'm Catherine Ann Clayton, and I help bold women entrepreneurs learn to create their own business, make their own time and money, and get some time freedom for themselves. You know, when they work with me, they go from ideas to sales to profits. But today is not about me. It is about Lil. And Lil, I wanted you to jump on in here because you're such an asset to the online world and tell everybody what you do. Say your name again. If we need to spell it, you can, and tell them how you help people.
Okay, Lil Barcaski. There's a C in there somewhere. And I am the vice president and kind of overall coordinator of the Longbar Creative Solutions Group. We're Longbar Creative Solutions. We're a business development company that specializes in offering not only consulting and helping you figure out what you want to do with your business, but the deliverables. We are very big on branding, marketing, and getting all the deliverables you need to run the engine. So people like Catherine are great with getting people to know who they are, what they want, what they want to do out of life. And then we do some of that, but then once they've done that, they often come to people like us to make a website, do the logos, do the branding, write a book, publish books, set up their blogging, their social media, all of that sort of thing. So we do a lot of the deliverables and work with small businesses, medium-sized businesses, sometimes large. And sometimes all we do is one thing. Well, somebody just needs a website or they just need a logo. But we like to work with the whole package and give you a big branding package and get you out there ready to go. So.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I will tell you that, she had helped me with some copywriting. And copywriting is not my forte. It is something that I could possibly do if I worked on it. But to be quite honest, it's something that I don't really want to do. So I've learned in the online space to allow people to take over part of my business that's in their genius zone. And that is exactly what you do.
I equate it with don't mow your own lawn. Now I live in Florida where it's 110 degrees 24/7, and the last thing I want to do is mow the lawn. And if you're a smart entrepreneur, you know that the people do certain things, and you do certain things, and let them do what they do best. And I think I pay my lawnmower about what I make in an hour for a month's time. For a month's time of his work. That makes sense. It's just not
right.
financially smart, or I will drop dead in the heat. This is what they do. So
Absolutely. And what I learned is that I spend so much time, on doing some of the technical pieces or the writing pieces that if I've got a framework. Now, I'm not saying that I said, okay, Lil, I want you to create this. I gave her kind of a framework. So if you know exactly what you want, Lil can go in and help make it go from good to even better to probably best and more profitable. So talk to me about who comes to you, and when you say website, do you think it's important that let's just say a beginner online marketer should use a website, or do you think they should wait until they've kind of gotten into, selling and things like that? What are your thoughts on that?
That's a great question. And the thing is, I think it really depends on the business. I will tell you, if you are a small business like a plumber, an electrician, local business, you have to have a small website, even if it's just
I
and
agree.
here's why. Because you're going to be on the Google map. And people often don't even go to your website. Here's the secret. They look to see if you have one. Because the plumber that has one is a guy that they will bother to pick up the phone and call. The one that does not, they don't think he's legit. So websites do a couple of things for you. One, obviously, if they're built properly and there's good search engine optimization and you have the right keywords and you're bringing people to the table and you tell people there, it definitely legitimizes you. It makes you feel legit. I think in this day and age when it's not terribly expensive to invest in a website, that not having one at all makes you feel a little bit less legit, for lack of better words, than the other guy, the other person, the other woman. But can you get started with that one? Absolutely. Can you get started without nothing? No, you have to have social media, Facebook pages, something that lets people know where you are in the world and how to find you in the world. And I really do think it depends on what you're selling. So I wouldn't always recommend it, but we most of the time do.
Yeah, I do think, and I've noticed as I have moved up in the online world and my authority is getting higher and higher, that now people are going to me and they're looking to see if I have a website. I don't know if they're really actually clicking on links. I mean, I know if I get, you know, an email address from them, but I think that you're right in the fact that they just look to see if you have one. Just
Yeah, and with analytics, you can tell exactly where they're coming from, how long they're staying on a page, what pages they're going to. We put in either Jetpack, which comes with WordPress, or we put in Google Analytics. It's really the same thing, but you can look at that and say, well, people are coming to my homepage and bouncing immediately, or they're coming from organic search engine thing, or they're coming from somebody else's site to mine. Like, where are they coming from? And that's important to know.
yeah, that's important to know. However,
Information.
for yeah, and when we work with you, are you able to explain all that for the newbie like me? Because I would not understand it. And I have a friend that's really into well, deliverability and this, and I'm like, I don't care. I just want to get out there. And she goes, you need to start caring. So
Yeah.
I've started caring. So you can explain that to people so that they understand.
Yeah, and you know what? Your Facebook has insights in it. You can look at the insight in your Facebook and see what people are looking at, what they're not looking at, where they're coming from, where they're going to. All those things are very, very important to know, especially selling a product. I think if you're selling a course or a product, a lot of our clients are selling. We are. We're about to sell a course for the book we just wrote. We're turning it into a course very shortly. So I write books all the time, pretty much.
I was gonna touch on that. Yes, I was gonna touch on that as well.
But yeah, but when you're writing a course, you want to know who's coming, why are they coming, who, what group is the most interested, what's your demographics. If you're selling a skincare product, it's going to maybe be more women than men, obviously, but are they from a specific, and when you want to do like a Facebook ad, you need to know like who to target it to, what age group, where do they live. You need to know what we call our avatar, right?
Mhm.
And our avatar is not just everybody with skin, it's every single thing you need to know about that particular person. Where do they live? What age group are they in? What's their socioeconomic level? What kind of house they live in? What do they eat for breakfast? For God's sake, you need to know everything
Right.
you can possibly know about a person to sell to the right people. I had a client recently who's writing a book about divorce because she was in a very bad divorce, and she was trying to write it to everybody. And I said, you know what? I hate to tell you this, but only women are going to read this book. Men are not going to look at a woman and say, well, I wonder what she thought of the score. So, oh, my business partner just went by.
Right.
that, was
There we go.
that was anyway.
Welcome
She's
to COVID world where we work at
wearing
home.
clothes. It's good.
Yeah, that's
So,
good. Thank you for that.
she's working on the porch on a book cover. But anyway, I said to write it for women, and she started telling me a story about her divorce, and the reason she found out that her husband was cheating on her is her 4-year-old son said, "Mommy, why did Daddy take a shower with the babysitter?"
Oh my gosh!
I
Wow.
totally suggested, and she's taking me up on this. So that chapter 1 needs to be, "Mommy, why is Daddy taking a shower with the babysitter?" This way, hello again. This way, we really know you're seriously in a bad divorce, and then women are going to listen to her. So she's changing it to be like a woman centric, thing. So she knows who her group is, who's going to buy this book, right? Who gives a damn about this book? So the same thing applies with any product, anything you're selling, and to know that you have to have some demographics, you have to have some concept of who these people are, and that's where website analytics help, Facebook analytics help, all those things help. And where are they coming from, who are they, and how long are they staying on what page, what matters to them, how do I get them to go to the places that matter. Also, if you're selling a product, big what we call CTAs, call to actions, right? So if you're going to sell whatever the widget is you're selling, on that homepage we want to build, don't hide it. I have a great example of a client that told me they wanted me to look at their website, didn't know why they weren't getting any business, and they were walking dogs. They were dog walkers in West Chase, Florida. I lived about 40 feet away. And I went to the website, nowhere on their website did say where they walk the dogs. So you're not coming 45 minutes to walk my dog for 10 minutes. That's not going to happen. They needed to say, we walk dogs in West Chase. Click here to find out our area of location. You've got to have calls to action. Explain what your demographics are yourself. Who am I trying to reach? Why am I trying to reach them? Right? So all those things are important with everything you do, from your logo to your branding to your blogging to your social media. Everything is, think of it like the engine of a car. All 6 pistons have to be moving at the same time. They all have to look the same. You can't have one and this big. They all have to fit together, and that's what we do. That explains it.
Right.
I think that explains clearly what we do.
That,
We put that engine in, so every single part of it is part of the same Mercedes.
that does explain it. And again, she is an agency, and so she can put all the pieces together. Because
Mhm.
sometimes I think that the small business owner gets overwhelmed, whether you're an entrepreneur or a brick and mortar. I own a brick and mortar, but I also am an entrepreneur online. And knowing how all the pieces go together, sometimes I need somebody to come in that can look at it from up here
Mhm.
and tell me what's wrong. And that is exactly what you do. Am I correct in that
Yeah,
assumption?
that's great. Yeah, and I think that's it. Business consultants typically look from the 50-foot view, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the job of a business consultant to look at and
Right.
from the overview and say, okay, your wife is killing you, your husband is making your children, you do all these things in your life. Which is why life coaching has morphed into what it is. If you remember
Uh-huh.
years ago, life coaching was its own thing. Life coaching is kind of not that anymore. Most business coaches are also life coaches and vice versa
Right.
because our business is so entrenched with our life, especially now that we're all sitting home, right? But I think that we have become this sort of thing. So, and consultants and business coaches, which are very similar, have that overview of having to do that. What they can't generally do is come then to a team that they personally have and say, okay, so we know you need this, 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 and this. Let's go find you a web developer, a graphic designer. Let's find somebody who can do video for you, who can put together your podcast. Let's find these people. We are these people. So
There you go.
my business partner, who has just run through in her shorts and t-shirt because we do live in Florida, is a brilliant graphic designer and also a very good business consultant. For many years, she ran a very large networking group. She had 13 chapters here in Florida. And at that point, she got tired of doing it somewhat and walked away from a lot of it. We were down to 2 or 3 until this. She's very good at consulting with those people and networking and saying, you need to do this, you need to do that. She's got an eye for it and a feel for it, as do I. But our team, we have 3 web developers, we have 3 writers, we have who does video and editing, and who have 2 people who do that. We can write blogs, have 2 or 3 bloggers. So we've got a team of people who can do everything you need. So they all are part of our engine. So you're not having a disjointed feeling where your graphic designer doesn't agree with your web designer, doesn't agree with the writer, who doesn't get along. This is a team, and they know that there is no I in team. They work together. Our social media managers work together. They're 27 and 30 respectively, and they know what they're doing. And, so work and they understand how to work as a group. So you get one broadcloth, not a bunch of different threads all over the place.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, do you happen to have a freebie for us today? Or
Yes, I will do yes, we did. We talked about that. I was willing to offer if anybody wants to take me up on this. If you're interested to know about writing or publishing a book, which is my long suit in the company, is 2 things. One, I manage the web team, so I make sure that they're. So I'll give you 2 offers you can have. One of 2 things. The 2 things I do best. I project
that's
manage web
generous.
teams.
Thank you.
That's no problem. One, they can talk to me for. I'll give you a consult absolutely free to discuss where they are with writing a book. If they're thinking
Mm-hmm.
about writing a book, we usually charge for that. I'll do 35 to even 45 minutes if they want, up to that, where we can talk about should they even bother to write a book. And I'm very, very honest with people. If you don't have a good concept for a book, I'm going to tell you don't waste your time, or at least in my opinion. I'll give you my best opinion or which way you should go with it. If you've been thinking about a book, I'll give you 45 minutes of my time or so to talk about what your outline's about. Maybe send me your outline. I'll look at it. Give you my opinion of where you are, like I did with the divorce lady.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you like, I'd be happy to look at your website if you're having problems with your website. If you already have an existing website, not to build you a new one, but if you have one and you don't know why it's not doing anything for you, I'll be happy to do what we call a website analysis, which we generally charge for as well. So if you'd like, we can sit down and you can send me your website. You can send me the URL. I'll take a look at it, and then you can get on the phone with me, and I'll walk you through why you're maybe not getting what you need out of it. I would probably need to log into it if it's a WordPress site, or at least to look at it and say, well, maybe you need to put a call to action, or you need to change your imaging or the wording. So we'll give you some advice on why your website's not doing very well.
Oh, that's really, really generous. So again, audience, I bring these experts together so that y'all can have some places to go to get you where you want to be in your business. And I am this week offering the top 10 secrets to create authority on LinkedIn. So download those. Lil, if you don't mind, when this uploads to Facebook, if you'll go ahead and put the links to get in touch with you in the comments. You know, we've got to work with algorithms, so that would help everybody. And I want to thank you for coming on. Did you need something
Can
else?
I plug one more thing, if possible? I got a thing coming out
Sure.
that maybe some of your people would be interested in. We're going to be putting. We're going to please look for this and please friend me on Facebook by all means. But we're putting out a book called Accelerate, and the Accelerate is a playbook for dreamers, artists, scholars, and athletes. It's written by myself and Ziz Abdur Rauf, and he was a football player with the NFL and a life coach and team coach. And this is a book for teenagers going into high school or early in high school, to try to help them figure out who they are, what they want to be when they grow up. It's going to be a course by October, and our launch date is October 20th for the book. So please keep your eye on that. We're offering a discount on the book and some giveaways. If anybody has a teenager or going into teen years, we'd love for you to look at the book. We need some ambassadors and the people to kind of read the book and tell us what they think of it. So
Right.
look for that. It's called
Awesome.
Accelerate. Accelerate's coming out. We're very excited about it.
All right. Yeah, I've got teenagers, so we'll be looking into that.
Absolutely. Send me a copy.
Yeah. Until next time, which is Friday, thank you for tuning in to Bold Breakthroughs with Business Experts, and everybody have a wonderful day today. Bye-bye.
Thanks for having me.
Sure.